Yo, man, this really pains me to say. It really hurts me deep down inside, and I never thought I would say these words. But I think if more fighters were like Ian Garry, if they had his mindset, I don't think the UFC would have so many issues right now. And I'm not talking about going vegan. I'm not talking about taking your wife's last name. I'm not talking about inviting your wife's ex to live with you. I'm talking about Ian Garry stepping up on short notice against a very dangerous contender in Carlos Prates. Think about it, man. Ian Garry is vegan. He doesn't even have his full strength, and he's taken on this matchup. He didn't have his full strength against Shavkat Rakhmonov, and he still took that fight on short notice. And Ian Garry is ranked number 7 right now in the welterweight division. He's about to crack into the top 5. And instead, he's deciding to fight Carlos Prates, who's ranked number 13. And Prates just entered the rankings as well over a win against Neil Magny. So Ian Garry, what he could have done is he could have waited out for a matchup that would have gotten him into the top 5, that would have had a really good chance for him to get a title shot. Like, imagine if he waited out for Leon Edwards. I bet you he could have got that matchup, and that's a really good winnable matchup for him, and it would have put him into a position to get a title shot or at least a number 1 contenders fight. But instead, he's stepping up on short notice. And Carlos Prates, he's not just a contender. He's not just a good, exciting contender. He's knocking everybody out, and he's knocking these guys out cold. Just think about what he did to Li Jingliang. Li Jingliang has historically had a really good chin. He's super tough. Carlos Prates folded him like a pretzel. Like a frickin' pretzel, man. Like a croissant. And Li Jingliang is a super, super tough guy. He always has been. And Carlos Prates, man, in his last fight against Neil Magny, he grazed the top of his head with like 2 knuckles and knocked Neil Magny out cold. And Ian Garry, man, with his little pea-sized head, he's vegan. He can take a hell of a punch, but he's deciding to step up. So I have to give some respect to Ian Garry for stepping up. Imagine, like, in this era of the UFC, you have so many guys avoiding the tough matchups. Look at the lightweight division. If the lightweight division had this mindset, we wouldn't have so many issues. Charles Oliveira is avoiding matchups with Arman Tsarukyan, Ilia Topuria. He doesn't want those matchups. He just wants to get a title shot after beating Michael Chandler. He's on a 1-fight win streak. But then also, like, Ilia Topuria apparently doesn't want to fight Arman Tsarukyan. Islam Makhachev apparently is avoiding Ilia Topuria. I don't really think he's ducking him, but, you know, he's looking more for like a Justin Gaethje matchup. You have John Jones, who's avoiding Tom Aspinall, who's the interim champion. I remember Cyril Gane avoiding any tough matchup. He said it in an interview that he doesn't want these matchups because it would hurt his chances of a title shot because they're dangerous. Like, what kind of pussy shit is that, man? So you have a lot of fighters right now avoiding tough matchups, and it never used to be this way, but Ian Garry is kind of has that old school mindset, man. Like, he took on Shavkat Rakhmonov, who is considered the boogeyman of the division. He stepped up on short notice to take him on. In that matchup, he had something that, you know, he had some sort of benefit because it was a number 1 contenders match. So if he beat him, he would have got a title shot. But against Prates, you know, he's going back into the rankings. He's not holding on to his ranking spot. You have Colby Covington, who doesn't fight anybody. He holds on to his ranking spot. And even Ian Garry wanted that fight against Colby Covington, and Covington went running after making his little video on Instagram, calling him out, calling Ian Garry a little cuck, and then went running when Ian Garry said, "Yeah, I'll take that fight." So you have all these guys just wanting to hold their ranking spot. They don't want to fight any tough matchups. They just want a title shot. But Ian Garry, man, if he beats Carlos Prates, which I think he might, I think this is a really winnable matchup. It might be a boring matchup if Ian Garry decides to go to the grappling and just kind of lay on him. But if he wins, it's time to give Ian Garry a step up into the top 5, give him a number 1 contenders fight. I know there's a lot of guys in the welterweight division right now who could get title shots. But Ian Garry, for taking on short notice fights twice in a row, he deserves something afterwards if he beats Carlos Prates. So good for him for taking this fight. I have to give some mad respect to him. And yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Peace.